Okay, squad, we're going to be operating in a squad plus size element for this mission with a main effort force with gun 1 attached to us. That's going to be effective as of 0629. Our main task is going to attack to destroy the enemy on objective Phantom, which is an enemy mortar team. Our purpose is to deny enemy influence on Italian direct objective, which is an objective Bobcat that this mortar team is firing on. Bravo team, you're the main effort. Your task is to destroy the enemy mortar team to deny the enemy influence on the Italian direct objective. Alpha team, you're going to be working with gun 1 as a supporting effort. Your task is going to be to fix the enemy mortar team while Bravo team flanks, and your purpose is going to be to enable that flank. And then gun team, I'm going to have you on a support by fire element, supporting both Alpha team and Bravo team, and your purpose is to enable the main effort. The 240 is going to be vital to this. So just to orientate you to our AO, so we're going to be in AO Ronin. The northbound is going to be on 37 Northern, which is along phase line white, which we're currently in phase white in the patrol base. Your south limit is going to be on the 31st Northern along phase line black, which is our backstop. We don't go up. We're not going to get here in time mission. You shouldn't be. Our westbound is going to be along the Bayang River, which is on the 10th Easting. So we're not going to interact with the 2nd Battalion of 327 Infantry, which is operating AO no slack. And then our Easting is going to be on the 10th Easting along the coastal mountain range, and that's facilitating with Alpha Company that's currently working in objective Bobcat. So we're currently in the patrol base. Just to orient you a little bit better, Route Camaro is the main route of the enemy's movement. It's a major route for them throughout this entire AO, and it gives them access to the entire using their motorized assets, so it's very key. Our objective is Objective Phantom. Second squad is going to be operating Objective Reaper, and then third squad is going to be operating Objective Ghost, just to orient you the entire platoon's mission. So for area of interest, there is an attack helicopter platoon of Z-10Ks far south, about 20 kilometers. And we shouldn't have to worry about them since their main trigger is a U.S. Force battalion, size battalion or higher. So we should be good, but it is possible. And the reaction time is 30 minutes. So you need to look out for that. Indirect fires is going to be our biggest weakness from the enemy. They have a battery of PL-66 152 howitzers, which is going to be ranging throughout our entire AO. They could shoot anywhere in our AO within 10 minutes. And if they ID a U.S. squad or bigger element, they're going to take fire, and it will only take 10 minutes. So we need to be careful, and we need to make sure we stay concealed throughout the mission. We also have the PP-87 on objective Phantom that the mortar team is assetting, and they have a 5-minute response time, and they have been firing between 0300 and 0800, and then also between 1500 and 1900 for the last 2 days on objective Bobcat. So those are the time frames that they're normally there, so we have to make sure we also coordinate that in our mission. For the reserves, there's going to be a motorized infantry platoon to our southwest. They're holders of defense against the U.S. force advance into the main service roads. We need to make sure we watch out for that too, because they have a 20-minute response time. So if any of these teams or squads are being attacked, they could be called on and could be assets within 40 minutes. So we just need to be on the watch out for that. So to go to our terrain. So main obstacles are going to be all this severely restricted terrain. There are a lot of service roads within our AO, but we're going to ignore those as much as possible. Not ignore them, but make sure that we don't use them as much as possible because of the motorized asset of the enemy. But we're going to be using severely restricted terrain as much as possible to stay out of sight. Which leads us into the avenues of approach. From our patrol base, avenue approach 1 is going to be our main, our most likely course of action. We're just going to be going along to this ridge, staying behind the intervisibility lines on this ridge line. By doing this, we're going to stay concealed the entire time. We have direct access to the objective from severely restricted terrain with no early warning sign. So that's going to be our best chance. And we do have 20 hours in this mission from 0200 to 2200. on the 30th. So we have plenty of time to do that. But just in case, Avenue Approach 2 goes straight down through this restricted terrain, which still should be off access to their motorized assets, but it also goes through these service routes that are along here, so it is a little bit riskier to be seen by enemy. But it's going to get us to our objective the same, with really restricted terrain before we get to the objective. Avenue Approach 5 is an alternate to Avenue Approach 1, just because if we are on a time crunch, we can cut through and not go around the switch completely and go down the bridge early and still get to the objective pretty well covered, but that's an alternate if we need it. So our enemy, we have Avenue Approach 3, which is their most likely, coming straight up from Route Camaro, and Route Camaro leads basically directly into the objective with this unrestricted terrain allowing an easy access. So we need to be watch out for reserves and sustainment from that road. Also on Route Camaro, Avenue Approach 4 leads from these service roads over here, across the main bridge, and the only bridge, down Route Camaro as well, into the objective. So we need to watch out for Route Camaro for the enemy Avenue Approach. So for key terrain 1 is going to be our objective. It's our decisive terrain as well, since we need to take this for our mission to be successful. Key terrain 2 is going to be the intersection between this service road and Route Camaro. It allows them easy access to the objective and also motorized access throughout the entire AO. Key terrain 3 is the bridge. It's the only access point between this bridge from AO No Slack to AO Ronin. So we need to watch out from that for further reinforcements from the west. So for fires, we obviously we already talked about this, but the PP-87 has very good access, and the battery of PL-66 are going to be extremely dangerous to us. But we have to make sure we stay in the severely restricted terrain, stay out of sight. And then concealment, same thing. Stay in the severely restricted terrain, and we'll be good. So weather is on neither of our sides, but it's still going to help us. So BMNT and ENT for the 30th is 0447 to 1903. This is going to be perfect for us because the enemy is there 1500 to 1900, and once the light starts dying down around 1900, it'll be perfect time to attack when they stop firing and they're not able to see as well. Also with 99% cloud coverage, it's going to be an 15.3% illumination. It's going to be almost impossible to use night vision capabilities. So night attack will hinder us, but it's going to hinder them more. Precipitation is 70%, so it's most likely going to rain, which is going to slow our movement, and we will need to coordinate for that. And then temperature and humidity, it's also pretty high, humidity 88% and a high of 88. So it could slow us down there through heat stroke and then heat-related energy. So we're going to make sure that we go slow and we take our proper steps. Really low wind speeds of 6 miles per hour. So air assets aren't going to be as useful to them or us. So they are going to be useful, but with cloud cover, they're not going to be crazy useful. But we do need to be on the lookout for air assets. And we're also downwind of them since the wind is pointing to the southwest. So we need to be careful of that just in case. Okay. We'll move to, this is the company's analysis of the enemy. This is the motorized platoon that we're going to be fighting. Their objective is to occupy RAO. So we need to go on there. There's the mortar team that we need to attack. You can see they have a main objective in our company analysis, so our job is extremely important since they're trying to disrupt all the operations that Alpha and Bravo company are doing down here with this company. So, and then we also have, this is the reserve. There's other motorized platoons platoons in our area. You need to look out for that. And also this recon squad that's attached to the platoon in our AO could be a hindrance since they are dismounted and near our AO. So we need to watch out on that too. The most common weapon system is going to be QBZ-95, which is very similar to our M4. So we need to be careful of that. The most dangerous is definitely going to be the PP-87 that's on our objective. So we need to make sure we're staying concealed so they can't use that asset. So for the platoon, Here's our mortar team once again, using to disrupt this area. But just orienting you a little bit more. This squad is trying to disrupt movement along Route Camaro. So second squad's main objective is going to be to help distress this stuff on Route Camaro, and then their main objective is to occupy that intersection that we talked about. So we need to make sure that we're doing our job, getting this mortar team out of the way, and disrupting the enemy so they don't really know what they're doing. They're at 90% strength and they're pretty fresh since they just transitioned in, so we need to be careful on that. Entire area in the platoon is 39 packs, so they have numbers on us too. We just need to be careful of that. And they do have CKS 141s. Each squad has one, so they have easy access to motorized infantry assets. We need to be careful. Okay, for our enemy, it's a team, so I just broke it all down at the individual level. We're gonna have the mortar system, the PP87, which is the same as, it's equivalent to our M252. It's gonna be going over to look at objective Bobcat. They have TRP 1 and 2, just assumed lines for their range. But their range is 6,000 meters, so they can reach out far into this ridge where we're going. So we need to be careful of not being seen. There's going to be 3 QBZ, because they have 4 people, so one's going to be on the mortar. 3 of them are likely going to be on QBZ 95s, securing all these roads that are accessing around where the mortar is located. So we need to be careful of not taking these roads or having any visible area where they can spot us. Okay, so the enemy most likely course of action is also, like we talked about before, is what I was just saying, is along these routes you need to be careful of enemy security, because their main task is going to be to support this mortar, but it's also going to be destroy any U.S. force that comes into there to prevent the mortar from being taken down, since the mortar is affecting their direct battalion mission. We need to be careful of that. The most dangerous course of action is definitely going to be if that reserve platoon is operating in our AO and close by, and if the attack helicopter platoon of Z-10Ks is anywhere in our AO, because they have shortened response times that could really mess us up. So you just have to be careful of that. Okay, for our company, the mission is Charger Company, 1-5 Infantry. We're the battalion supporting effort 2. Is going to disrupt the enemy force in AO Ronin no later than the 30th, 2200, which is the same end time as our mission, in order to deny enemy influence on the battalion direct objective. The expanded purpose on this also is to conceal concurrent capabilities, which goes along with our mission of concealing ourselves and making sure they don't know where we are or anything about us. And we're going to disrupt the enemy commander decision making and direct defense away from objective Bobcat, where Alpha and Bravo Company are operating. So the key task, disrupting enemy operations, denying enemy Route Camaro, which is the high-speed access avenue approach, and retaining combat power, avoiding decisive engagements, so we still conceal that combat power, and then coming back to 2nd and 3rd platoon after all this is done. So our platoon's mission is 1st platoon, disrupt enemy force in AO Ronin in order to deny enemy influence in battalion main effort. Some Charter Company, we're supporting battalion effort to destroy objective Bobcat. Our key tasks are the same. So we need to be looking out for, we're trying to contest the primary main service routes like Route Camaro. We need to disrupt the enemy without giving them any information on us. We need to minimize civilian casualties and infrastructure damage, and we need to make sure that our friendlies aren't damaged and they're dispersed throughout the AO. So we're the main effort right here, as we said before, attacking objective Phantom. 3rd squad's going to be doing a demonstration objective Ghost to kind of further that unknowing from the enemy, knowing how big we are, the combat power. And then 2nd squad with the other gun team is going to be on objective Reaper, ambushing them where they're most likely sitting. So